Welcome to the MB Quart Jeep JT and JL audio system installation video. Please reference the manual as well for best results and ease of installation. Let's get right to it. Step 1. Unclip and remove the panel below the steering column. After that, you can remove it from the vehicle. Then we are going to remove the 2 Phillips screws that we're pointing out right here. Next, we're going to need to unclip, unplug, and remove the climate control panel. You're going to want to use a push pin or bojo type of tool carefully so that you don't damage your vehicle. After that, we want to remove the 2 Phillips screws securing the radio trim panel. Then we unclip that and remove it. Remove 1 Phillips screw securing the front dash pad. Carefully unclip and remove by pulling forward toward the front seat. Carefully unclip the instrument panel shroud along the bottom and then remove it. We have 4 more Phillips head screws at the top of the dash. We want to remove these screws and then remove the top panel. Unclip the lower steering column shroud and remove by pulling it towards the steering wheel. As we work our way over to the left, we're going to want to unclip and remove the panel on the side of the dash. There are 5 Phillips screws that are exposed. We're going to remove all 5. Next, unclip the kick panel cover. Underneath, there will be 1 Phillips screw from the lower left dash. Remove that 1 Phillips screw. Then remove 2 Phillips screws near the steering column. After that, we are going to continue to remove 2 more Phillips screws on the top left dash, then unclip and disconnect all of the wiring on the back of the light switch to remove the panel from the vehicle. Remove 4 10mm bolts below the steering column. One is hidden behind the cross brace located on the left-hand side of the downward support bar. Next, remove 1 8mm bolt below the speaker, and this will free the lower support brace to aid in the removal of the speaker enclosure. Then we are going to remove 3 Phillips screws securing the speaker enclosure. Disconnect the harness from the enclosure, then remove from the vehicle. Next, we are going to want to remove the module from the OEM enclosure. We are going to take that module and install it on the new enclosure using the OEM hardware. Moving over to the passenger side, remove 4 Phillips screws on the top dash, as you can see here. Then, unclip and remove the panel on the side of the dash. Then, remove 5 7mm bolts. Using a panel tool, carefully remove the grab handle cover, starting from the left. Remove 2 10mm bolts securing the grab handle, and then set the handle aside. Next, unclip the airbag cover panel. You're also going to want to lift the tab securing the airbag cover. Remove 2 Phillips screws that have now been exposed. After that is complete, we are going to remove the glove box by opening and lifting the upper tab, and then removing the latch on the left side. Here you will see 3 Phillips screws. You are going to want to remove those. Looking in the glove box cavity, up high, remove 2 13mm bolts, securing the back to the passenger side airbag. Carefully unclip the airbag. This does not need to be removed from the vehicle. Lifting the airbag slightly will expose 5 more Phillips screws. These will all be removed. Remove 3 Phillips screws holding the passenger speaker enclosure. Then, disconnect the wires and remove them from the vehicle. If you plan on replacing the upper speakers as well, complete steps 34 and 35 for driver and passenger sides. Unclip and remove the dash grille. Remove 2 Phillips screws, disconnect the wiring, and remove the speaker from the vehicle. Install the new speaker enclosure and secure with 3 Phillips screws. Connect the speaker enclosure to the wiring. Note, if you're just replacing the pods but not adding amplifiers, then you will connect to the OEM plug. But if you are adding amplifiers, then you will need to connect to the new harness. Also, if you're replacing the upper dash speaker, then pass the other harness from the pod up to the top dash location. Replace the front dash speaker and connect the wiring. Go ahead and reinstall the factory grille. Lifting the airbag slightly, install 5 Phillips screws. Looking in the glove box cavity up high, install 2 13mm bolts, securing the back of the passenger side airbag. Install 3 more Phillips screws at the bottom of the glove box opening. Install the glove box by inserting the bottom hinge and pivoting up. Install 2 Phillips screws under the airbag panel. Clip the airbag panel back into place. Next, install 2 10mm bolts, securing the grab handle. Slide the ear covers into the slot and snap the grab handle cover into place. Install 5 Phillips screws on the side of the dash. clip the passenger side dash cover back into place. Following this, we are going to install 4 Phillips screws on the top of the airbag. Connect the speaker enclosure to the wiring. Note, if you're just replacing the pods but not adding amplifiers, you will connect to the OEM plug. But if you are adding amplifiers, you will connect to the new harness. Also, if replacing the upper dash speaker, then pass the other harness from the pod up to the top dash location. Install 3 Phillips screws to secure the enclosure. You're also going to install one 8mm bolt below the speaker. Again, run wiring harness to the top dash location. Connect the wiring on the driver's side speaker. Tighten screws. And reinstall the grille cover. Next, install 4 10mm bolts below the steering column. One is hidden behind the cross brace, which is behind the left down support. Clip the kick panel cover into place. Reinstall 5 screws in the side dash panel. When this is complete, clip the dash side panel back into place. Then we want to clip the steering column shroud back into place. Install 2 Phillips screws on the shroud. Clip the instrument panel shroud back into place. Install 4 Phillips screws on the driver's side, securing the instrument panel. Next, clip top of dash back into place. Install 1 Phillips screw located in the center of the dash, as you can see here. Clip the radio shroud into place and install 2 Phillips screws. Connect the wiring and clip the climate control panel into place. Install and clip in place the lower steering column cover. For the rear speaker installation, we are going to first remove 4 5mm Allen bolts to remove the OEM grille. Remove and disconnect 4 T30 Torx screws from the port, 5 T20 Torx screws from both speakers, and remove the grille. Then you will see 5 T20 Torx screws. Remove all of those from the speaker. Remove the speaker and disconnect all of the wiring. We have provided a diagram that will provide you with the most accurate outline for your cut. With a white or silver Sharpie, trace the diagram as shown here. Make the incision according to the line that you have drawn. Using a rotary cutting tool, you're going to want to cut a hole similar to the OEM structure. Be very careful not to cut the OEM wiring, as this will be used with the 6x9 speakers. Mount the 6x9 metal plate to the soundbar with 8 Phillips screws. Connect the harness adapter to the OEM plug and connect the 6x9 Then mount the 6x9 to the mounting plate using 4 M4 screws and washers. Mount the new soundbar grill for the 6x9 MB Quart speakers with the OEM 5mm bolts. For the wiring and amplifier installation, you want to reference the install manual for installing the NA2 400.2 RC amplifiers. Step 1. Remove 5 Phillips screws from the center dash or the screen area. Step 2. Unclip the lower center console and move towards the rear of the vehicle. 3. Disconnect the large main harness connector on the back of the radio screen. Then connect to the PAC audio T harness into the radio and the OEM connector into the T harness. 4. Route T harness pigtail from radio pocket to lower console behind the metal brace. 5. Continue routing pigtail harness towards the glove box opening. This will be where the main control box will be hidden. Step 6. Unclip the passenger kick panel cover. 7. Disconnect the passenger door harness, door strap, and 10mm nut that has been exposed. 8. Unclip passenger sill cover. It is easiest starting at the rear of the door opening and moving forward. Once unclipped, remove from the vehicle. 9. With the passenger seat slid all the way back, remove 2 T50 Torx bolts. 10. Slide the passenger seat forward and remove 2 T50 Torx bolts from the rear. Note, do not remove the seat from the vehicle. 11. Remove front 2 roof sections, which will aid in the soundbar disassembly to follow. Step 12. Remove 4 T25 Torx screws from the passenger side upper roll cage cover and set aside. 13. Unclip and disconnect the dome light. Step 14. Remove 3 T25 Torx screws from the front edge soundbar cover. Then unclip, remove, and set aside. Remove the fir tree clip, then gently unclip the T-panel. You will not be removing this from the vehicle, just gaining enough space to pass the soundbar wiring behind. 16. Unclip the rear door sill panel. Unclip the first 2 clips of the door sill panel by moving towards the center of the vehicle. 17. Unclip the 2 covers on the B-pillar sill panel. 18. Unclip and remove B-pillar sill panel. If no subwoofer is being installed, skip steps 19 to 22. 23. Disconnect the OEM connector from the soundbar and connect the new harness, and then zip tie along the OEM wiring, moving down the B-pillar to under the passenger seat. 24. Clip the T-panel into place and install the first tree clip. 25. Clip the soundbar cover into place and install 3 T25 Torx screws on the front edge. 26. Clip the dome light back into place. Step 27. Place the passenger roll cage cover into position and install 4 T25 Torx screws. 28. Clip the B-pillar panel back into place, sliding under the rear door seal panel. 29. Clip 2 covers back on the B-pillar seal panel. 30. Clip rear door seal panel into the B-pillar panel. 31. Install front 2 roof sections and refer to your Jeep owner's manual for installation of this top. 32. Pull back carpet along center console, then run the RCAs and remote turn on from under the seat to the glove box area along the center console, then route the wire. 33. Replace the carpet along the center console. You will have an extra RCA and remote wire, which is dependent on what source unit you will be using. (34) Connect the remote wire to the PAC audio pigtail harness. Then connect the interface box to the pigtail harness. At this point, the RCAs can be plugged in. Reference the labels to connect properly. (35) Place the PAC audio interface box as you see here. If you choose to use the included knob from PAC to control the subwoofer and door chime volume, then place somewhere easily accessible in the vehicle. 36. Place amplifier power connections under passenger seat, routing the power wire along the OEM wiring toward floor grommet. Also connect the remote wire at this time. Step 37. Remove grommet. 38. Using a knife, make a small cut, as you can see here. 39. Pass the power wire through the grommet and to the underside of the vehicle. Then install the grommet back into its location. Install the grommet back into its location. (41) Under the vehicle, zip tie the harness along the OEM wire channel. It should move forward into the fender area. 42. Pass the power wire up the passenger fender near the battery. 43. Crimp and heat the fuse butt connector by the battery. 44. Remove 70 amp maxi fuse. Make connection to the battery with a 10mm socket. (45) Place the front speaker wire harness under the passenger seat and route the wires along the OEM harness from under the seat to the door jamb, routing forward to the kick area. Zip tie all the wires to this area, to the OEM wiring, and then the carpet can be put back into place. Step 46. Place amplifiers on the mounting plate. Loosely start M4 screws mounting the amplifiers in the order that you see here. Once all the screws have been installed, go back and tighten. Step 47. Tilting the passenger side seat forward, connect the power and the speaker connections to the appropriate amplifiers. The amplifier positions, the fronts will be closest to the doors. The rear speaker amplifier will be in the middle and will connect to the rear harness, and the sub amplifier will be closest to the console, connecting to the sub harness. 48. Lower the seat and install the 4 T50 Torx bolts and align the rear amp plate to the rear bolts, and then install the RCAs into the appropriate amplifiers. Step 49. Zip tie front speaker wires along the OEM wires to pass up into the dash towards the passenger front speaker location. 50. Reinstall passenger front door sill, clipping it back into place. 51. Connect passenger door harness and install the 10mm nut. 52. Clip passenger kick panel cover. 53. Pass the driver's side speaker wire along the glove box lower frame, behind the glove box door gear, and into the center dash area. 54. Continue routing the driver's side speaker wire until the lower center dash wire makes its way to the driver's side. 55. Continue passing the driver's speaker wire from the center dash area to under the steering column area and route along the dash support behind bracing. Note, this connection will be connected to the new driver's side speaker. 56. Clip the lower center console into place and install 1 Phillips screw. 57. Install the 70 amp maxi fuse at the battery. And with that step complete, your Jeep Quart audio system is done. You can go ahead and start your vehicle, test the system, and enjoy the sound. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.